Alright, guys, welcome back. Are we ready to lock in? Because I sure am. We are watching Kizumonogatari Part 3, the final one. This one is a little bit longer, about 10-15 minutes longer. So it's probably gonna be even longer than that last video, but I don't know. We'll see. Man, I am ready. It's early in the morning. I had my coffee. I am prepared to lock in. Last time a lot of stuff happened, that's for sure. Please go listen to the last discussion. Because what's crazy is like these movies have been, I feel like in a way they've been the easiest to grasp thematically. I feel like the whole humanity thing that Aragi talks about, it's pretty like, that's obviously like what this is, everything is a metaphor for, humanity and, him forming relationships with other people, right? There's things being linked and what that means for him. It's been like the easiest to grasp thematically, but it's been so powerful in like just everything, like, visually and just emotionally for Aragi. I talked about it last time how like for Aragi, it's like this feels like the most emotionally vulnerable and open we've ever seen him, and it's just been so man, it's just felt very different than the arcs in Bakemonogatari in that way, because I feel like a lot of the arcs in Baka had to think a lot more to understand like what the I don't know what the point was. I guess in this, it's been easier to grasp on a surface level, but feels so much deeper, like for Araragi than any of the arcs in Bake. So I don't know. I mean, it's been really good. I guess we got to get started. He beat all the he beat all the vampire hunters, so I guess we'll see what happens next. We know this is going to end badly. It told us it's going to end badly, and we know it ends badly from Shinobu and Bake and how Aragi feels about it. So, got another hour and 22 minutes. We'll see what happens. So, yeah, there's a Patreon down below if you want the reaction, not edited and everything, with the picture and the sound and everything. Otherwise, you can link up your own copy with this if you want to. But we will be starting in 3, 2, 1. Raining. What do they call that? Pathetic fallacy? I've never liked that name for it because it makes it sound like it's something bad, but using weather as an analogy for a character's emotions. He didn't kill Guillotine Cutter, did he? I hope not. Hmm. Mm-hmm. Hmm. Interesting. I might want to talk about Guillotine Cutter. I think that's an interesting. He doesn't seem very happy about it. I wonder if he's still suspicious of Kiss Shot and her willingness to turn him back into a human. Hmm. Oh. Mm-hmm. 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 True. It is weird, right? It is weird that he could beat them so easily when Kiss Shot couldn't. But it has to be this weird immortality thing, right? Whatever it is that makes her immortality run out. Well, yeah, he's the minion. What about the actual Kiss Shot Usher the Orient Heart Underblade, right? Why couldn't she beat them? Hmm. We'll talk about that in the discussion. There's more stuff I want to say. Yeah, True, yeah. Because with like that show he put on last time against Guillotine Cutter, you would think he could have just beaten all three by himself too, you know? Hmm. Hand it over. Oh, what? A heart? It's beating. Okay. All right. Okay. So she wasn't at full power the whole time. The heart. She lost her heart. Hmm. There's starting to be so much stuff I want to talk about. Oh my god. Okay. So Oshino was like part of all of this, pretty much, right? Is he just was he just working with the vampire hunters the whole time, basically? Or am I crazy? Right? Because he had the heart this whole time. No, it wasn't Guillotine Cutter, it was Oshino. Mm-hmm. So is he just on the side of these vampire hunters this whole time? And so what? I mean, God, I'm gonna have to think about for some good sound effects of his knuckles cracking. Certainly seems like it from what he did in the first movie. Man. Oh. Mm-hmm. Fourth battle. But why would you need to battle when you just gave it to Aragi anyway? Mm-hmm. But what changed? I mean, like, okay. Well, yeah, but why would you have ever battled him in the first place? God, it's just weird. If Oshino has been working with the vampire hunters this whole time, no, he must not have been. But she doesn't. Yeah. She wants something supernatural to save her from her situation. What she craves. Become human again. But we know he's not going to become human. What's going to go wrong? Like, hmm. Okay. What is going to go wrong? What is it's I don't think it's just that Kiss Shot is going to refuse to make him human again. Hmm. Okay. Okay, it's making me think, but this whole thing about the blood drinking and the making a minion thing that I was talking about some last time must actually be relevant. I was just thinking I was overthinking it, but I just don't understand what. Hmm. He sure does. I like, you know, Ocean is acting like he's leaving. We know he doesn't, right? Okay, no, there's like because we know that doesn't happen either. We know that he still ends up owing it. So all of this is somehow still part of Oshino's plan of whatever was going on here. Oh. Hmm. Now what? Now what? It's an interesting thing for him to say. Because he should know now what, right? In his mind, it should just be, okay, I get to turn back into a human, right? But if we think about what turning back into a human means for him. She's back. Oh, her voice is great. Hmm. Yeah. Okay. Please, please, let's have a little talk. I would really like to have a talk. Hmm. Oh, oh, beautiful. Hmm. You're the one who wanted to talk. Yeah, how exactly? Mm-hmm. Hmm. Uh-huh. Oh, 500 years of boredom. Man, rough. Oh, that man. Hmm. Okay. So he is only the second. I can't remember if she said originally that he's only the second or if he was just the first one 400 years. I don't know. Whatever. Who cares? Hmm. Japanese. Whoa. Hmm. Oh yeah, it was 400 years ago, right? In my youth, when she was merely 100 years old. Hmm. Oh, is that why they have her, the subtitles in the like old timey speak way? Hmm. So it is possible for them to die. Because I'd always wondered if Aragi's immortality had a limit of some kind, right? I guess we already knew hers did. Okay. Can you see Aragi there? Oh my god. Alright, how does that fit in there? Kokoro Watari. What does that mean? Kokoro is like heart, right? But like feelings, kind of. He just hasn't moved yet, so he hasn't been split. If he moves too much, he'll just fall over. Oh, okay. True. Well, what? Sure. I don't think that's possible, but okay. Hmm. All right. How did he die exactly? Hmm. Oh, man, this art style. Ooh. Back to the topic of suicide, huh? Ooh, that's actually, hmm. Oh, hmm. Hmm. Oh, until him. Yeah. What makes Aragi different? Well, we kind of know, right? What he did for. Oh, it's bored the whole time. Hmm. Like she's speaking as if her life is over. Or I guess, or she's speaking as if her boredom is over. She has Aragi now, right? Mm-hmm. I guess. Wasn't for a very good reason, though. That's the thing about it, right? Is you can view it in this, like, heroic way, or you can view it like, him killing himself. It's acting like everything's happy and great, but there's an hour left of the movie. Something is gonna go horribly wrong. We know how this ends up, that it does not end up well. So, like, what's gonna go wrong here? Because whatever it is, it's like Aragi's, like, hmm, that was an interesting shot. Hmm. That's what he wanted, right? Hmm. Incapable. Okay. Oh, he's hungry. We've been talking about the hunger, right? Hmm. Okay. Mm-hmm. Last night is a vampire. Okay. Hmm. Because in a way, it's like Aragi's showing, he doesn't really want this to end. Because of what turning back into a human means, like for him, right? Yeah, it's just like the conflict in his mind of he wants his humanity back, but yeah, she's leaving. He'll be alone again, right? Mm-hmm. Because like, and she's like that too, right? Bored and alone. No, they weren't a bad memory for her. Seems like she just finished talking about how bored and awful her life has been. Just like Aragi, right? I mean, he's also been alone. Hmm. This shot again. Yeah, I'm sure everything is gonna have a great, happy ending, and nothing's gonna go wrong. And it's gonna be great. It's gonna be awesome. But like, I don't know, something immediately after this is gonna go horribly wrong. I just don't understand what. Oh no. Oh no. Okay. Yeah, she said she was hungry too. Oh no. Oh. Oh, it's guillotine cutter. Okay. Oh no. 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 I Oh no. Oh no. Oh god. Oh no. All right. Okay. Hmm. Yeah. All right. Okay. All right. Hmm. Yeah, I can't blame him. Okay. Oh. 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 Oh, dude. Oh, the cross. Like, think about. Oh. Uh-huh. Fuck. Dude, like, yeah, no, he's just gonna blame himself for all of this. And think about what it means for him. Okay. Yeah, so that's how. Okay, so that's the thing about her saying she hasn't made a minion in 400 years, but everyone who gets their blood sucked just turned into a minion. The other one, she just eats them whole. Oh no. Oh no. Oh, dude. So what do we do? What does Aragi do? What I Oh. Oh, dude. Huh. Oh. This is like, I mean, worst a possible thing for Araki, right? Like, it's like the Nautico situation times a million. Oh, dude. Oh. Vampire. Yeah, Oshino knew. Oshino knows, like, what this is gonna mean for Araki. Like, I mean, Araki can't eat other people, right? Araki can't do that, right? What's he gonna do? Like, oh, oh my god, dude. Like, holy shit. Talk about, oh, talk about us seeing Araki in a vulnerable way that we never have before, right? Oh, 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 dude. Oh, what a shot. Oh, oh, the cross. Like judgment for Aragi. What I mean, yeah, it looks like he's just about to break down again. Like, uh-huh, uh-huh. I think that's, yeah, that's, I would hope so. That's, dude, I'm like shaking for some reason, just like thinking about Aragi. Hmm. Mm-hmm. Huh. Oh, oh, holding on to him. Is she? That's not what she wants. Yeah, I don't want to say that every time, but oh, oh, it's like he was already suicidal before, and now, oh, oh, yeah, no, you. I mean, he always blames himself, and hmm, well, yeah, it's me. Oh, right, yeah. It's like when Episode called him a bad guy. He didn't have a retort for it. Because what do you say, right? An enemy of humanity. Like it's like him coping with. Selfish. Mm-hmm. Yeah. That's what suicide is. Yeah. Oh, three arms. No, you do. No. That's not taking responsibility. That's the opposite of tone for his sins. Oh, oh man. Like you just have to wonder in Hanakawa's position. Uh, that means for her as well, right? Ingen Janai. Yeah, he's not only terrified of the effect other people have on him, terrified of the effect he'll have on other people. Oh, oh, dude. Oh, but like, uh, she. She doesn't view it as going that far. Hmm. I'm gonna have to think so much about this. Hmm. It's just showing her in this holy light. That's how Araragi views it, right? Don't die. Is it? Is this the balance? Is the balance returned? Because Oshino, based off that line of him talking about this hunger thing, it just makes me think, his job here isn't done. I don't believe him. Maybe. Dude, I gotta, like, calm down. I don't know what's going on. I gotta... Whew. Hmm. Hmm. It's like it'll give him the opportunity to undo his sin, but... Hmm. Interesting. Let's calm down. What's going on here? Alright, okay. What's happening? Okay. Like, alright. Like, hello? Like, okay. Yeah, let's hear the argument. Okay. Uh-huh, uh-huh. Yeah. Okay. Uh-huh, uh-huh. Okay, alright, alright. Is this really the time? Of experience with female breasts. Or yeah. Was it successful? Was his debate skills? She's really thinking about. All right. Okay. ちょっと待て. All right. I'm worried about whatever's about to happen. we ever seen her without her glasses on? Yeah, I guess when she died. This is really gonna be something, isn't it? I'm concerned. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. He is such a loser. I mm-hmm. Just all right. All right. Okay. What? Okay. All right. Okay. This is really man. You know what? I'm telling you this means something, but I don't know. There's something here. That's for sure. Please. Just lift her arms straight up. Please, I'm gonna I'm gonna lose my mind. Like, please, let's. All right, okay. Well, I mean, this is really. If there's ever a trial, okay, like, yeah, that'll be good evidence in the trial. Yeah, thank you. Please don't say it. Well, okay. Okay. This is really something. I. You know, based off his previous experience in the car with Sencho Gahara, I'm worried that him asking her to say all of these things is gonna have a bad effect on him. Like, yeah, great. Okay, I mean, really, this guy needs to come on. Yeah, great. Uh huh. What is he doing? Please, please stop. Please, can this end? Can we be done? Like literally, hell, is this the rest of the movie? Is this it? Like, okay, sure. All right. Thanks for the pitch on that. That's yeah, great. Oh, okay. All right. Awesome. Great. Cool. I hope that was all just in his head. I hope none of that happened. Please. Thanks to her words. What? The words you made her say? Someone like me. All right. Great. Fantastic. Aw. Yeah, come on. Yeah, that'll help. Yeah, go ahead. Yeah, thanks. Thanks, man. God, Aragi's so cool, isn't he? He's awesome. What? Continue next school term. Yeah, sorry, I'll be dating Shinjigahara this time next month, though, so my bad. Oh, the shadows. Hmm. Man, I feel like you could read some stuff into the him not having a shadow there, you know? Almost like it shows how for the two of them, it's different, you know, in a way. Because Aragi really is leading her on, huh? But I think it's more than that. I think, whatever. Well, who cares? We'll talk about it at some point, I'm sure. Okay. Same thing he said to Kombaru when he's gonna fight her. That's his go-to greeting for a battle. Hmm. Ooh. Okay. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. A little bit. Wants to be human again, at least, right? Although at this point, she made him human again. That would just make things worse, because then he wouldn't be able to stop her. Hmm. Because he did think that, right? He thought like, oh, she's a vampire, she's a monster before he went down to go save her. So it's like he thought it at one point. But it's like he didn't think about the consequences. Hmm. Hmm. Yeah, my actions were beautiful, but not right. I feel like you can view a lot of Aragi's actions like that almost. That is surprising self-reflection from him, but I guess in this case it's such an obvious thing, you know. I doubt he would apply that same logic to some of the other stuff, you know. Like trying to kill himself for Kombaru, for example, right? I'd say that's beautiful, but not right. Just in a different way. Mm-hmm. I don't know. Maybe. I don't really think. Okay. I don't. It's not really about being weak, though. It's just anyone, right? Isn't it? I mean, Sindrugahara, for example, wasn't weak, and he decided he had to save her. I guess she was weak in terms of. Hmm, I'd have to think about it. By killing her? Okay, I guess. Is that how it works? I mean, humans. Oh. It's like for his whole thing about humanity and what it means to him, vampires are like the perfect. I we'll talk about it. All right, cool, awesome. All right, good start, fantastic. All right, okay. I oh, I just thought of the stupidest nitpick to make about that shot. I might not even say it; it would just make people mad. So, like, what do we do here? We're both immortal, right? Okay, fantastic. Wow, great. Oh wow, this is really quite the final battle. Is it? God. Okay. All right. You know, all right. I don't know why I expected a serious fight scene. Why would that ever happen? Sure. Hmm. Okay. I guess I kind of figured that. Hmm. How do you be a pure? I don't know. Whatever. Was 500 years ago. Okay. I don't know why she said 300 that time. There's some specific line at 300 years old. Interesting. Hmm. All right. Okay. Fantastic. Great. She's out of breath. I don't know. Okay, Hanakawa, you are gonna die. Can you please, like, what are you doing here? Like, what are we doing? Oh, hello? Okay. All right. I hate that sound. Please stop. I really don't like that. Please make it end. Thank you. What is going on? Looks like the same person who animated Aragi when he was running away from Kiss Shot in the first one. Like, you don't have to stay inside the track, you know. I like fantastic. You're on the wrong way. Oh, we're good. Okay. Oh, okay. Hmm. Ah, interesting. Is he? Hmm. What is going on? What is happening? She's charging up. I don't know. A nuclear bomb. Aragi, what are you doing? Please. What? All right. Okay. What is okay? All right. I don't know. Oh my god. What on earth? Okay. Okay. You know what? If he's in the sight of her, can she regenerate? You know? Yeah, I would be pretty terrified of this too. Oh, she noticed something? Hmm. What? Hanakawa, what are you doing? Please? Why are we doing this again? Like, remember what happened last time with the episode? What? I mean, okay. Let's not have this happen again, right? Be that you. Oh, wow. Oh, okay. Oh, all right. Is this how you can actually kill her? But I mean, we know she doesn't die, so. Oh, certainly having an effect, right? Hmm. Hmm. Oh. Hmm. Okay. True. Yeah, because she did say that at the start of the fight. Okay. Sure. Yeah. Hmm. Hmm. Oh. Well. Ooh. Oh. Hmm. Ooh. Oh. Oh. Just like what Aragi does, right? Oh. Right. That's what she said, right? She couldn't make. She was unable to make him human. I mean, because if anyone, Aragi would understand it, right? It's what he tries to do for people. But like for Aragi, Oh, man. Yeah, I mean, he could never accept that. Someone dying for him. Oh. I mean, that's what he was thinking, but now, like, oh, looks to her, but I mean, he can't. I mean, he can't. There's no, and he doesn't. Oh, it's like giving. Uh, ooh, yeah. He knew what was going on. He knew what was going on the whole time, right? But what can Oshino do about this situation? He's here. Oof. Nani kai koto demo atta no kai? Do something. Mm-hmm. Personal one. I mean, what is he? What are the options here? Hmm. Yeah, right. Like, I guess there wasn't an agreement, but Oshino knew what was up the whole time. Yeah. Mm-hmm. He knew what she meant by okay. So yeah, was he working with the vampire hunters the whole time then, basically? Okay. Mm-hmm. That's how the debt is remaining unpaid in Bake. Oh, well, doesn't end up like that. No. Mm-hmm. Just thinking. Oh, they told us that's how it ends. We know that's how it ends, right? They're already both pretty miserable, so Oh. This is her name. Hmm. Mm-hmm. He won't be human again, right? But how fitting. Mm-hmm. Yeah, is him. Right? That's the situation. Yep, this is it, right? Oh man. Yeah. Man, like, well, oh, she wouldn't do it for him. He won't do it for her. Oh, oh, oh. Come human again. It's what he wanted, but no. Oh, relate. Man, 1 month before the start of Bake. Oh, he's back under the sun. Yeah, we're back, right? Kisu, he left a wound. Oh, yeah. Oof. The distance between them, right? Hmm. Well, you have a lot more. Oh, you hear that? Mm-hmm. Hmm. Hmm. We get that this line, right? What he always says when he's waiting for Haragi. Oh, oh man. Wow. Oh. Oh, wow. Neither does he. An egotism. Human egotism. Hmm. Yeah. It's awful, right? It sure isn't. They warned us about that. No. Mm-hmm. Responsible for her for the rest of his life. Ooh. Oh, shit. Oh. It's like she's just this permanent reminder of what he's done. Hmm. Oh. Wow. Looks at us. Looks at Shinobu too. Huh. Dude. Get a drink. Holy shit, man. Like, huh. I don't know. Just think about for Araragi. Man, he was not being melodramatic in the stuff he was saying about Shinobu in his conversation with Black Hanakawa. Uh, wow. It's like I don't know if I've ever seen something that you can have a character who says that they owe their life to someone, and saying that be as deserving as it is for Araragi and Shinobu, right? Oh, oh, dude. Kizumonogatari. Oh, I'm just thinking about just every time Aragi sees Shinobu, you know, the wound Kizu that she left on him. Just man. Ooh. Like I don't even know. Hmm. Okay. Well, I guess I will see you guys in the discussion. All right, guys. Let's go through the episode. So, it was really something, wasn't it? It was really something. Man, I don't even know where to start. I always say that, but these movies as a whole, man, it does such a good job of explaining spring break. And yeah, that's for sure. I think all of our questions about spring break from Bake have been answered, right? Um, hmm, just crazy. Very good. These movies were incredible. Oh, dude. Like yeah, just really really good. The it really just it explains why Aragi and Shinobu's relationship is the way it is in Bake perfectly. Very well. Yeah, really good. That's for sure. I guess I'm just gonna try and go through it chronologically. There's yeah. Um, you know. Oh, so we start with pretty much the revelation that Oshino has Kiss Shot's heart, which, for one, talk about this. I guess this is just plot stuff, but to talk about this first, so like we know I was saying this before about how it's weird that Oshino is like here, right? Like what's he doing here? Obviously, he gets involved with this immediately and he's part of it. So it's not like he was just randomly in town for no reason, right? This isn't where he lives. There's no, you know. Um so like I guess the vibe I'm getting from it is that he has been working with the vampire hunters, right? Because he has the heart, right? So was he literally just working with the vampire hunters this whole time? Maybe that kind of goes against the whole balance thing there, right? That I want there to be a balance, but I don't know, because it recontextualizes all of the stuff about, like, every time Kiss Shot would say, oh, I'm going to make you human again. Or, like, at the ending of the first movie, when she says, or when he asks her, you plan on making Aragi human again, right? She's like, yeah, and he, like, glares at her. um, it's like, obviously, Oshino knew what she meant by, oh, make him human again, right? It means she's gonna die. She's gonna kill herself for him, right? Which, I guess, if he's been working with the vampire hunters, that makes sense, because if their goal here was to kill Kiss Shot, well, Aragi kind of came along and ruined that by saving her, right? But now it's like they can get two birds with one stone, because now there's another crazy strong vampire running around, which is Aragi, and they can turn him human again and do their original goal of killing Kiss Shot, right? If she's willing to die for him. Um, but I don't know. That I feel like that just goes against Oshino's thing, because it feels like Oshino's thing is being the negotiator who wants a balance. So I don't know. It's weird. I just can't imagine him really being part of that unless Kiss Shot is just so powerful and is so terrifying for humanity that her being dead is the best thing for the balance. I don't know. I really don't know, because it's obvious Oshino knew what was going on this whole time. It's like he knew what was going to happen when he asked Aragi, like, "Have you been feeling hungry lately?" He knows. It's like he knows everything. He knows what Aragi's reaction to all of this is going to be. He knows. I don't know. I really don't know. Hmm, man, I don't know, because they don't really go into it. They don't really tell us exactly. So I guess that's just the assumption I have to have, is that he was working with the vampire hunters. But again, that's just weird. So I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. And yeah, and he acts like he's leaving. Even though obviously it's like, again, he knows what's up. He doesn't leave. It's like he knows what's gonna happen. But it's just I don't know. I don't know. Oshino is really something. It's too bad he's gone in after Bake. So like, God, Aragi never asks him about all this when I don't know. Maybe it's obvious to Aragi that he was just working with the vampire hunters. Just that's so hard for me to accept. So anyway, his shot is Araragi, right? Like, you get what I'm saying? You get what I mean, right? Kiss shot is Araragi. Um, to expand on what I mean by that, like, literally, it's the same thing, right? What is this conversation about? It's Kiss shot talking about how she's been bored for 500 years, pretty much. She's had no human connection. She's had nothing, right? Why was Araragi what's Araragi's issue, right? Never forming connections with other people, all of that. It led him to being suicidal. I think that's pretty clear. I don't think it's a stretch to say that a lot of why he is suicidal was because of his outlook on forming relationships with other people, being such a loner, right? And like, yeah, they're the same. Literally, they're the same, right? They they have the same. They're both suicidal, as revealed. Kishot wanted to die. Um, we'll talk more about that when we get there. About, yeah, all of that. Aragi wanted to die, and they have like the same reason. This whole thing about being bored, have lacking human connection, right? Um, you know, there's this first minion for her that she regrets so much being unable to die for. As she says, she can't make him human. She couldn't make him human back then, because I guess she just wasn't. strong enough, you know? Mm. And it's like for both of them, this relationship that they have formed, and for Aragi, there's Hanakawa as well, right? Um, man, it's interesting because Kishot still wants to die for Aragi anyway, right? Because he wants to turn back to being human, right? But it's just obvious that for both of them, this relationship is very meaningful because, you know, they've been without human connection for so long. For her, it's been a whole lot longer than for Aragi, but it led them to the same point, right? And I guess it's like, man, I don't even know. Like, think about it. Like, Kishot was unable to die for the first minion, and Araragi was so willing to give up his life for her right away. It means something. I'm just trying to think, like, what, I mean, hmm. I don't know. I don't know. It's just very sad. I feel like there's more I could get out of that, but I would just have to think, I guess. Because it's obviously, the similarities between them are, it's more than just similarities. It's the same. They're like the same person, with the same thing going on. But, hmm, I don't know. I don't know. And then the hunger that Oshino was talking about comes back up, right? And so like if we think about again, I talked about that. I mean, rambled about this in the entire discussion last time about humanity and what it means for Aragi, right? Him turning human again, in this case, literally means he has to kill Kishot. He has to, you know, in order for him to be human again, which is for him, you know, not being connected to other people. I'm just kind of generalizing it as that, right? I think that makes sense to me, right? Um, he has to kill Kishot, right? To return to being human and to return to being human, right? He has to end his connection to her, you know. Hmm. I feel like there's so much more stuff I could like, but I don't know. I don't want to think about it for the next week before coming back to this discussion. I feel like I would have to watch this 5 times because it's just like every line and everything. It's like all of this whole conflict, everything he thinks is just so tied into his mindset about humanity in terms of relationships to other people and all of that, right? And so she's eaten guillotine cutter, um, which like man, obviously Aragi blames himself for this, right? But let's like, I said this during the reaction because there's other stuff later that made me really think about it, about how. So what is humanity for Aragi? It's being human is not being connected to other people because like those connections will change who you are, right? And you won't be yourself anymore, In his case, he literally loses his humanity. He becomes a vampire. And he also, more than that, he becomes Kishot's minion. Uh, so it's like he has to do what she says. He's this underling to her. It's like his worst nightmare in a way, right? Of it's like the worst case scenario for his mindset about this, right? He forms a relationship with another person. You could view that as this, and what happens? He literally loses his humanity. He loses who he is. He loses his agency. All of that, right? And then even more than that, vampires, like what a vampire is, more so than just being a representation of having lost your humanity, lack of humanity, in terms of what Aragi means by it. It's like the perfect metaphor for that. Because what do vampires do, right? Think about what vampires do. They suck people's blood. Um, in this universe, they kill and eat them completely, right? And they turn you into a minion that has to obey them, pretty much, right? They at least they have that ability. The whole thing Hanakawa brought up in Bake as well. Like it's the perfect example of forming a relationship with someone and losing everything about yourself because of it. That's what vampires do to people. And that's exactly what Aragi is terrified of in a relationship with someone, right? Like, I'm sure you get what I mean, right? It's just like perfect though, like vampires, you know. It's great. It's perfect. Because it's like yeah, it's just the perfect representation of Aragi's fear of relationships. God, it's so good. It's so it's a perfect metaphor. And yeah, just him. He just can't believe what he's done. Of course, he's gonna blame himself for it. And I guess in a way he should, because he was so. It's like in a way he wanted to die so badly for her specifically, right? It's like maybe we can talk about that when we get there, because I think Kiss Shot thinking about her own suicidality. We'll talk about it when we get there. I think there's really some interesting stuff you can apply to Aragi as well in that case. The reason why, um, like, she was unable to die alone down there in the train station, but why she's willing to die now, I think, is very important for her and for Aragi. But yeah, we get this explanation for the whole every vampire. I mean, every human who gets their blood sucked turns into a vampire, but she hasn't made a minion for 400 years. But vampires have to drink blood. It's because she eats them completely. So yeah, I guess I don't know. I didn't think of that. I thought it was the whole. I kind of liked my explanation about the immortality thing, and like but whatever. I guess I was wrong. Oh, hmm. And it's like Aragi just blames himself so much, right? It's like think about the Nadeko situation where he thinks, saving Nadeko in his mind, the Jigiri Nawa ended up going to kill the guy who originally cursed her, I mean, I assume kill him. I don't know. Maybe probably going to, right? No one saves him. But and Aragi blames himself for that, of course, right? This is like that times a million, right? This is so much worse because in a way, Aragi did this to be selfish, right? Because he wanted to die. As he said, it's like his actions were beautiful but not right. It's almost like you can view that in terms of everything Aragi does for other people. Like think about that beautiful but not right line. Think about that in terms of Hanakawa in at the end of Bake, right? Like if he let himself be killed by her, you know, oh, there's a way you can look at it as being beautiful. At least in his mind, he would think of it like that, right? This is what she wants. I'm willing to die for her. But it's not right, obviously, right? Think about what it would mean for Hanakawa herself if how what she would think if, man, all because of him. Of course, he blames himself. God, I feel like there's more to it. This whole blaming himself for it thing, but I don't know. Hmm. But yeah, I mean, of course he blames himself, right? Because it's like he did think of it's weird, right? Because he did think about it very momentarily before he went down to save Kiss Shot about how she's a vampire, she's a monster, he shouldn't do this. But then it's like he just hasn't thought about it a single time since then. Oh, and just the emotion from Araragi, it's so weird. It's so different from how we see him in Bake. He does not act like this ever, right? It's just so oh. Like in Nautico Snake, for example, when he feels awful for saving her because of what he feels like he did. Um, he's not like he doesn't act like this. He's very emotionally closed off, right? He doesn't really show it at all. Hmm. And then so here's what I was thinking about, right? This is, you know, I think this scene, all of this, and everything even that happens with Hanakawa after in that one in the ridiculous scene, like, he kisses her. I'm not gonna show it because it was awful. I don't want to see it again. He kisses her and then he rips her face off, right? I guess that's another just perfect I guess that's just more of showing how vampires are like the perfect example of his mentality about relationships, you know? Because he kisses her and he bites her face off and eats her, you know? Like, literally, it shows just how he thinks having a relationship with another person, especially for him now that he's a vampire, you know, is just going to lead to people getting hurt, you know? I don't want to see it. It's awful. Oh, I saw it. It's terrible. He has to die. Maybe I'm not happy with that explanation about people getting hurt. I feel like there's more to it. I guess I'm just not wording it right. Because it's not really people getting hurt, it's him losing his humanity, right? Because he's just so scared of connection because of that. Hmm. I'll have to think about it more. Oh, he has to die. And it's like it's just it comes back to his whole thing about suicidality and how it works for him, right? Um he's not really actively suicidal. I mean, he kind of is. But just like his shot, it's like um unless he has a reason to die, he needs some reason to die, someone to die for, right? It's like now he wanted to die for Kiss Shot because it presents an opportunity for him that he can die for another person, right? And in this case, like, it's kind of back to that, he has to die for the sake of other people, Oh, man, rough. And then Hanakawa's here, and I feel like we'll talk about that in a minute. But we see the scene of her saving his life, like he says in Ake, right? Um, this is what forms the debt that he talks about, right? Her doing this for him, right? She kind of, in a way, she is the reason why he doesn't die, right? Um, and I just want to talk about this line specifically for a second because I think I've rattled on and on about this a million times, but Aragi's mindset about her saying it reminds him of how insignificant he is. The exact opposite of what Hanakawa wants, right? Hanakawa hates hearing things like that. That is not what she wants to hear. um, I don't know. That's just of course, obviously that's bad for Aragi to think that too. He shouldn't be thinking about how insignificant he is. But yeah, I mean, and obviously, the obvious part of this is it just shows, right, how being alone and his mentality about relationships led him to such an awful dark place, led him to being suicidal. And now it, he has a relationship with someone, and it is what saves him from suicidality, right? Sure, I feel like that's pretty obvious, right? But they're really good at never giving him a shadow. The light just shines right through him. Hmm. Hmm. I don't know. I don't know how to feel about this conversation because in a way I understand why Aragi blames himself for it. I also understand. Well, no, I don't know. Hmm. Getting the feeling that I'm missing stuff, and I hate it. Yeah, they were on the right side of humanity. I'm an enemy of humanity. Like, it's like just the worst possible thing. Not only has he lost his humanity, he has become an enemy of it. And I guess in a way, right? Like, Aragi values humanity so much. What he means by humanity, him being himself, not influenced by other people. So, like, in a way, it makes sense why he would feel this ridiculous debt to Hanakawa for saving his life, because it's like he feels bad. He feels bad that he had to rely on another person in this case, right? You know, he feels like that's him not being human enough, I guess. And I guess I don't know. I feel like the analogy breaks down for me at this point, where she's telling him about, are you giving up on becoming human again? If we're viewing that in the lens of what Aragi means by humanity, um, which is, you know, giving up on his relationships with people around him, making his own decisions unaltered by other people. I don't really know what to take from this, you know? Maybe it's about like agency, maybe it's about like you know, because in a way, if we're almost viewing lack of humanity as lack of agency in your own actions because you're being influenced by other people, then it's like, in a way, I guess Aragi has given up his humanity in this moment. He's given up his agency over the situation. He's decided the only solution is for him to just die, which won't solve anything, right? Um, I guess. I don't know. I do want to talk about Hanakawa as well, because obviously Hanakawa's reasoning for wanting to be so involved with all of this, at least what she says is purely her reasoning, is that she wants something in her life to change, right? Because her life is terrible and awful. And I feel like, you know, her um her saying suicide is a sin and all of that, preventing him from wanting to kill himself, is for one makes me really sad because it makes me think that Hanakawa has probably gone through similar thoughts, right? She's probably thought about, you know, she has all these arguments against committing suicide. It just makes me think Hanakawa must have thought of it a lot, right? Because think about her situation. Literally, you know, she's abused by her parents that aren't even her real parents, and you know, so that's really sad for one thing. But for two, Hanakawa, you know, her reasoning for being part of all of this, what she says is her reasoning at least, is she wants something to change in her life and all of that. And she doesn't really get it, right? Nothing really changes for her after all of this. Because I guess in a way, that makes sense if we're thinking about it, right? About how, you know, if something had changed, if going through all of this with her, wanting to be part of this because she wants stuff about her terrible life to change, if that had succeeded, I mean, what would be the message there? That, you know, that wouldn't be a good message, right? Obviously, because she's going about it in such a, you know, she's not directly facing her problems and she's not asking for help from other people. She can't do that because she doesn't want to be a burden on other people. So her problems haven't been fixed, right? I mean, I guess it's as simple as that. I guess she doesn't get what she wants. She doesn't, you know. I mean, that of course, all of that said, it's believing her idea that this is all her selfishly wanting stuff to change in her life. She views it as selfish because she feels like she's doing it for her own sake, you know. In a way, it's like the opposite of Araragi, right? Araragi views his actions in a way. He views everything he does wanting to help other people. Specifically, let's talk about dying for other people. He views them as selfless. He thinks he's doing things to help other people. But the actual outcome of it, what ends up happening, is selfish. You know, if he had actually died uh, for any of the people he's tried to die for, um, it would be selfish, right? It's like Kambaru. If he had actually let Kambaru kill him, that would have been awful, right? It's this, you know, would have been terrible. Hanakawa, we've talked about that enough about how horrible it would have been for Hanakawa if he had let her kill him uh, at the end of Bake, right? So, you know, his actions, he thinks of them as selfless, but really they're selfish, right? There's no, you know, killing yourself for another person. Uh, it's like he says, right? It's beautiful. It's beautiful. You know, it sounds great. You know, killing yourself for someone else, doesn't that just sound awesome? But it's not. It isn't. You know, certainly not the way Aragi tries to do it. And then Hanakawa's actions, she views what she's doing by helping other people, right? Helping Araragi, even saying, well, we'll talk about that, but helping other people, she views it as selfish, right? She thinks because she thinks the only reason she's doing it, the only reason she's helping Araragi is for herself. She feels like she's only doing it because she wants a change in her life. You know, that's what her whole spiel in the last movie was about, calling herself, saying, oh, she's not really that perfect or great. She thinks she's really self-centered or whatever, right? Deceitful. I think she even calls herself deceitful, right? Because Aragi goes on and on about how much of a saint she is and how perfect she is, but she views her actions as selfish, even though really her actions are much more selfless than Aragi's are, right? Like, she feels like she's doing it for herself, but in actuality, she's just helping Aragi with his situation. And feeling like it will benefit you as well doesn't make it selfish, right? It's not like the outcome of her actions have been selfish in any way. Let's say, even if it did manage to improve her situation in somehow, right? Even though, as she said, all she's looking for is an escape from reality. If she actually had somehow improved her situation by being involved in all of this, that doesn't somehow make it selfish, right? She views it that way because she thinks, okay, I myself am personally benefiting from helping other people in some way, so that means it's selfish. Even though that doesn't connect. That doesn't make sense, right? Oh, I just love the shot of her holding on to him. Not a human. I'm a vampire. And like, yeah, it's just more of he's worried that their relationship is going to hurt both of them, right? Because I guess it really is. I guess he's not just worried about himself and his own humanity, right? Because he's become a vampire, so he's worried about other people as well, hurting other people. I feel like that's not like the main motivation, obviously, behind his whole humanity thing, wanting to maintain his humanity. Uh, but I guess that's still something he's worried about, of course. And now this is what I wanted to talk about. Her saying, "Then eat me," um, which is not good, right? I guess unless I'm thinking of it wrong, isn't this really just pretty much the same thing Aragi does for people, right? Um, I guess just in a way you can view it as, here's how you can view it. You can view it in a few different ways. If we're thinking about Hanakawa as a character, what's her whole thing? She doesn't want to impose on other people ever, right? With her own feelings or problems, right? So in a way, in just this completely absurd way, you could view it as her being fine with Aragi eating her because otherwise it's selfish, right? That sounds insane. I know that sounds crazy, but if you take her mentality to the absolute extreme, then it's like if she didn't let him eat her, she is imposing on him in some way, right? Okay, I know that sounds ridiculous, but you can fit it into her mindset, right? The other way you can view it is like, isn't this just really similar to Araragi, right? Because she kind of says it too about how this is just like her dying for him, you know? I guess again, the motivation is different. Um, the motivation is different. I guess that's what matters, you know? Araragi, really, he wants to die for another person because he wants to die, right? He is suicidal, and Kiss Shot gives him an opportunity to die, you know? And sadly, I think that's what's going on in Bake with Kambaru. And, uh, the finale of Bake shows how his relationships to other people and Senju Gahara specifically, have really given him a reason to not die anymore, you know? And, like, I guess just for her, hmm, she feels like if she's someone's friend, or really for probably anyone, she has to be willing to do anything for them in a way that is never selfish, right? That never benefits her in any way, right? Like, again, I mean, it's taking it to the absolute logical extreme, the most ridiculous. I mean, it's completely crazy, right? But if she doesn't let him eat her, then you can view it as her being selfish, right? Well, I know. I don't mean like she's right. That's a crazy way to think about it, right? But you can, right? You can I think you can understand how that fits into her mindset and how I think that's different than Aragi's mindset and why he tries to die for other people, you know? Because it's about what Araragi would want, right? I guess that's the important thing here. Is in this case, it's Araragi would want to eat her, right? And she can't say no. That's the problem, you know. For Araragi, it's like people don't want him to die for them. He just jumps at the opportunity to use that as a solution, you know. Hmm. It's interesting. Him saying, you know, if you treat everyone this way, you'll never have enough bodies to go around. It's almost like the inverse of their conversation in the library in Bake, when she's talking to him about being kind to everyone and how that's bad. Hmm. I'd have to think about it more, I guess. I don't know. It's really interesting. I don't know. I would have to think about how these positions are different. Because I guess in Araragi's mind, he only treats people. I guess okay. Here's what it is. In Araragi's mind, he only acts so self-sacrificial for people because of he feels like he has some debt to them. You know, he feels like they've done something for him. He has to pay it back, right? And like for Kambaru's like the outlier there. But for Kambaru, I think he formed this debt to her just because he feels like he's dating Senjogahara in her place when really she deserves it more, right? He feels like he's stealing Senjogahara away from her, you know? So that's, you know, that was enough for him to be like, okay, I'll die for her then. For Hanakawa, it's not like that. She doesn't have this whole thing about debts. She's just trying to not be selfish, you know? And like her being framed in this angelic light and all of this, right? I think it shows how Aragi views her actions as like this perfect, selfless, amazing stuff, right? When really he views it in a bad way, right? That's not I don't think that's really what she wants. She doesn't want to be like this or have her actions be seen like this. Um but Aragi does. And I just can't help but feel like she's really, you know, you read that again. Hmm. Why you can't die. I just can't help but feel like she's talking about herself too, you know? That's why she's not dead, despite how awful her life is, you know? Hmm. Yeah, it's like again, it's like this is just a worst case scenario for Aragi for this whole humanity thing, you know? Like, ugh, she's just gonna go around and eat people. They're just gonna, you know, the consequences of him. Ugh, man, I guess more so, it's just the perfect example of why killing yourself for other people is not always right. You know, sure. His really does not have a good outcome in his mind. Um, hmm. And then we have the ridiculous, like, what does Hanakawa say here? I guess she gives him his agency back if we view it in that sense, you know, that he can do something despite having lost his humanity, you know. And then we have the just the most ridiculous scene ever. Um, oh God, I like how long is it? It starts here at 35 minutes and it goes this whole time. It's 10 minutes long. It's 10 minutes long. It really is 10 minutes long. Why? Okay. Yeah, we have the best scene in the show that lasts for an extremely appropriate amount of time. That's definitely not way too long. Um, but um, I don't know. I feel like there's some analysis you could make between Araragi viewing Hanakawa in such a sexual way, and in terms of his fear of connection to other people, and what that means, and all of that. I just don't know if I'm up for it. Like, um, I don't know. I don't know. I don't know, guys. You guys might have to do this one for me. I don't know if I'm into it yet. I feel like some of the stuff I said in that scene where he was kissing her and eating her face, I feel like you can apply that to some of the things that happen here. Sure. Let's just say that. Can I skip this? Can we leave it at that? I don't, let's let's say that's done. Let's say I pretend I talked for a while about that. And someone leave a comment and that'll be it. That'll be the explanation. Anyway, um he shows up to fight her. It's interesting, like I don't know. I don't know. He's fine with killing her now because he views her as evil and that she's gonna kill other people, right? But then at the end of the fight, before Oshino shows up, nothing really has changed about that. She still threatens to kill a bunch of people. She says, "Okay, I'm gonna kill 1,000 people a day if you don't kill me." The only thing that's changed is how he views her, and that he thinks that she was trying to kill herself for him, right? And that means for him he can't kill her anymore, right? What changes exactly in his mind between those two things, right? The only thing you can think is the explanation for her behavior, that really all of this is a ploy to try and get him to kill her, right? But, like, it's just weird, right? Because is it like the indebtedness thing that he has going on about how now he feels like, but no, but he would already feel indebted to her in the first place for what would he? Ah, dude, I don't know. I don't actually know. Because, like, it makes sense on, like, a surface level. Like, okay, now he, recognizes her humanity and feels bad for her that she is trying to do this for him and all of that, right? She's trying to do the same thing for him that he was trying to do for her, right? But, like, I don't know. I guess I'd have to think about it. I don't know. Because, like, I feel like there's the obvious. There's the obvious that, like, he. Hmm. It's just not satisfying to me that it's merely the fact that she was trying to die for him that he uh I don't know. I don't know. I would have to think about it, I guess. Like, yeah, actions were beautiful but not right. Yeah, that's a really good line. A really good line. It's a really good line. Because I guess you could just apply that to so much about Aragi. It's kind of sad that he continues to act like this in Bake, but I guess that just makes sense, right? People don't change that easily. He's still just looking for an excuse to die. But I guess, man. And then, all this stuff that she talks about saying he would have saved anyone who was weak, and since she's not weak anymore, he won't save her. I was trying to think, is that really accurate? Because I feel like Aragi wants to save everyone, right? Like, who is he trying to save that isn't weak? Explicitly, right? Senjo, you could say she's not weak, because, like, I mean, she's the opposite of a weak person, right? Um, but in a way, you could say she's weak because she is being afflicted by, the crab and all of that, right? Okay, what else can we think about? How about the guy who cursed Nautiko and Nautiko's snake, right? How about him? What about him is showing Aragi that he's weak? Then that would be his reasoning for saving him. I don't really think there's anything. So, like, what? I don't know. I don't know. I guess I don't really get the whole weak thing because it's not about being weak. Um, I don't know. I don't really think that's it. I don't really think someone being weak has to do with whether or not Aragi wanted to save them. I think it's just everyone, right? Because, like, it's not has anything. It has nothing to do with her not being weak anymore, does it? Um, there's just nothing for him to save her from right now. What would he save her from? You know, if she, I don't know, if Kishot was about to get hit by a train, I think he would go save her. Like, I don't know. I don't know. I guess not. But it's not about her being weak, right? It's about her gonna be killing people. So, I don't know. I guess I don't know what to think about that. About this whole weakness thing. Does it in some way go back to him saying you would lose strength as a human, right? Become weaker as a human? I don't think so. I don't know. I really don't know. Yeah, and then this line, what are humans to you? Uh, she says food, which is, you know, yeah, that's why vampires are like the perfect, yeah, the perfect thing for his whole humanity thing, right? It's like they're the opposite of humanity in a way. Just the eating other people is like the ultimate form of removing their humanity, you know? In terms of Aragi's, yeah, you know what I mean. And then the fight is just ridiculous. I don't even. She mentions that she's the human, which I guess I always thought all vampires were, but I don't know. I don't know how it works. I don't know how vampires work. Who knows? And he starts drinking her blood, which, this is when it all comes out, I guess, about how she wanted to die for him, which, like, I just want to talk about it now, right? So, like, oh, I guess this explains Aragi's future action too in Bake, right? I was talking about how it's sad that Aragi feels like Aragi realizes that whole thing about how his actions were beautiful but not right, but he continues to act like that in Bake in a way. But we'll talk about that. So, like, she says, she wanted to die for him so badly because, she says she was suicidal, but at the last moment, she became afraid of death, right? And in a way, you can view that as like, you know, dying alone without a reason for it. She got scared of it. She doesn't have a reason to die other than just being generally suicidal, right? That's too hard, right? She grew fearful of death at the end. But now that she has this opportunity to die where she's doing a good thing by dying, she's saving another person, she's willing to go through with it, right? Just like Araragi, just like when Araragi wanted to save her, like he was presented with an opportunity to die, obviously based off the things that he said before he thought Kishot was going to kill him. It's clear that he's on board with the whole dying thing. So it's just given the opportunity to save someone else as he does it. That's why now he's willing to go through with it. And for her, it's even more than that. It's like she feels like she's redeeming herself for what she did before with the first minion, right? She couldn't die for him, and she feels like she should have. So she, you know, yeah. And Aragi, in a way, I guess ever since this, it's like he feels like he has to redeem himself for. It's not that he has to redeem himself for not dying for her. It's like, oh God, he has to redeem himself for a lot. He feels terrible for trying to kill himself for her in the first place, because that led to her killing Guillotine Cutter, killing a person, right? And he also feels terrible, obviously, for what he's done to her at the end, which, I mean, we'll talk about it. It's awful. But first time someone helped her, yeah. I mean, just like Araragi, right? I guess that explains, I guess that's a lot of why he can't kill her, right? No, what was I saying earlier, right? Okay, I hope no one left a comment when I was talking about that earlier, because I guess I have my answer. It's about relationships, right? Like, Araragi, when you have formed a connection, a relationship with another person, you become less human, as Araragi would think, right? You, you, it's like he can't view her in this light anymore of just being this evil being that wants to kill other people and is evil and terrible. So of course it's hard for him to kill her. What would killing her be? It would be ending that relationship, right? It would be a representation of him cutting her off, returning to being human by not having any relationships anymore, right? Literally returning to being human and metaphorically returning to being human by not having relationships anymore, not with her, right? Um, so of course it's hard for him to kill her because it's hard to end a relationship with someone, right? And the reason why he was willing to do it at one point before is because he was viewing her in this evil, awful light of this terrible person who's going to run around killing people, right? But she's not really that. He can't delude himself into thinking that that's what she is anymore, because of the same thing that she's saying, right? No one had ever helped her like this before. Well, Aragi feels like that too. All this stuff he's experienced over spring break about, losing his humanity, forming relationships with other people. He can't give it up, right? Now that he's a vampire, he can't return to being human, and he doesn't. Oh, and yeah, I mean, it's giving Aragi a taste of his own medicine. What it feels like when someone wants to die for you. You know, obviously, like, I guess we're getting there now about his decision at the end to not kill her. Like, um, it's awful in a way, right? That the outcome is pretty awful. Um, but neither of them are dead, right? Neither of them die, which I guess for someone who's suicidal, um, being alive is better than being dead, isn't it? I mean, right? Like, she just like, hmm. I mean, we'll talk about it more at the end when we think about what Shinobu is now and what it must mean for Araki, right? Hmm. Yeah, and I guess this line isn't blood flowing within you too. It's him recognizing her humanity, not viewing her as this evil thing. It's like he can't do it, obviously, right? And then Oshino saves the day. Of course he can't do it. But Oshino knew what was going on the whole time somehow. I don't know. Aragi wants. What does Aragi say? He wants a way to make everyone happy. I know he says that in a minute. Not an issue. It's a personal one. Money's not an issue. Yeah. Hmm. Yeah, I don't think they had an agreement. I think Oshino just knew what Kiss Shot meant by return Aragi to being human, right? I guess it's in his best interest for Kiss Shot to not be running around killing people anymore. Um, it's not specifically that he wants her dead, though, right? And the outcome does work for them. No, no, it's like, man, I want to get to the shot of Shinobu, but a way to keep everyone from being miserable is not possible, obviously, right? You can't, not gonna be that easy. Yeah. Hmm. So, we get the explanation of the situation that we see in Bake. He refuses to save her. The only person he's refused to help, right? And like, it's like now, seeing this, right? It represents like her being unable to save the first minion, but also her being unable to save him, the second minion, not saving her. All right. It won't help you. Never thought we'd hear Aragi say that, but And then we're back. We're back to the status quo. Yaruragi from the Yaruragi that we know, in a way. They should have put his hair back on the other side for these last shots. She left a wound. She sure did. Something that will never leave, Araragi. And then, yeah, here we are. So, like, man, I guess, you know, Oshino says his third catchphrase, which is "You're late, Araragi." Um, you know, we're back to the status quo, you know. So Shinobu, which, you know, she doesn't have the name Shinobu yet, but this is the Shinobu we know now. Like, oh, dude. Like, think about, like, what she is, what she represents for Araragi, right? It's like, she is this endless reminder, this permanent reminder of him not helping her, not helping someone. Um, he he says, "I'm really sorry. Kill me whenever you want," or something, right? If you ever want to kill me, go right ahead. So, like, in a way, we're back again to this, right? It's like he wanted to kill himself for her. She didn't let him. She wanted to kill herself for him. He didn't let her. And now we're back to this, where Aragi is again willing to kill himself for her. She can kill him. I assume she will get her powers back if she drinks, you know. I guess their relationship, the way it works, because I was always confused by this in Bake for a while, is like their power is linked, right? Because she made him a vampire. The less power that she has, the less power that he has, right? So, like, when she's in this really weak form like this, he has lost, like, all of his power because his power is linked to hers, right? So the more of his blood that she drinks, the more of her power that she gets back. So then the stronger he gets as well, right? Makes sense. So what he's saying here, feel free to kill me whenever you want, is he'll let her go back to how she was if she kills him. He's willing to die for her. Again, it's like they're just going back and forth on this whole dying for each other thing, you know? Of course, the problem is, like, why would she want to go back? Why would she want to kill him? Because what did that lead her to? Being suicidal, 500 years of boredom, as she said, right? So killing him certainly isn't what she wants. It's the same reason he won't kill her. You know, it's like she's a representation of his newfound, you know, loss of humanity. And, like, think about, like, what Shinobu is now, right? She is this little girl who sits in the corner and mopes all day and can't do anything without him, right? She has to feed off of him. She can't do anything, right? So in a way, it's like what Araragi fears so bad about relationships, right? He thinks if he forms a relationship with another person, all of his actions and everything will be dictated through that other person, right? Like what he was saying to Hanakawa is like, uh, he doesn't want to have all of his actions be influenced by how he feels through the relationship of another person. It's like in his mind now, it's like that's what he's done to Kishot, to Shinobu, right? That's all she is now, is just this little girl who sits in a corner and mopes all day, and she can't do anything without him. It's like just the worst case scenario, the worst nightmare for him. It's like he's afflicted that on another person, you know? So, in a way, I guess, you know, it's not surprising that his whole suicidality thing hasn't been cured. All of this just makes him feel awful, right? It's just way worse than it ended with everyone miserable, right? That's what they told us was going to happen. And it sure did. It sure did. Because, like, you know, Oshino says, I don't think you did the right thing. Araragi doesn't either, I'm sure, you know. I mean, I don't know. What does... I guess Araragi thinks the right thing to do would be for Shinobu to kill him. But, like, that doesn't fix anything. We've been through that. Like, what does he mean, feel free to kill me if you go right ahead? That if you want to, go right ahead. That'll just put them back at the same position that they were in Kizu. It's like he hasn't learned anything in a way, right? Because what was the problem? He killed himself through Kiss Shot, or tried to, got her power back. She runs around killing people, right? And that makes him feel terrible because he thinks it's his fault. What does he say here? Feel free to kill. If you want to kill me, feel free to go right ahead. Well, what would happen? She would be back to full power again. She would run around killing people again. Like, that's not a solution, you know? I can't help but feel like this line about human egotism. It's like that applies to Araragi so well, right? His whole thing about his humanity that he wants to withhold so badly. Um, like, yeah, that's pretty egotistical, isn't it? That he feels like being influenced by other people is so bad, um, that he won't be himself anymore. Yeah, that is pretty egotistical, you know? And of course, it's like no wonder he doesn't return to being human after this. Like, he's not human, right? He's not human by his own definition anymore, you know? He thinks to be human is to not have relationships with other people. And now he does. He didn't have the power to give up on them, you know? He couldn't do it. And what is the line Oceanus says? It really made me think. Yeah, it ain't exactly a moving tale. Like, no kidding, right? Like, who would have thought that it's this awful? Right? Because you think in Bake, it's like you think Araragi, and the way he phrases everything about his debt to other people is so melodramatic, you know? You can't help but feel like it's just him being Araragi, but no, it's like his life. He really does owe his life to Shinobu, basically, right? Like, no wonder he says that thing about how if she dies, he might as well die as well, because it's like she's a representation. It's like how it felt like he was reborn in the first movie when he killed himself, you know? She's a representation of that, of how, you know, his old self is basically already dead. And if he regains his humanity, if he loses his vampirism, his relationships to other people through her dying, then, you know, uh, that version of Araragi's already dead. You know, it led him to suicide. So no point in him being alive if Shinobu's dead. You know. Never get sick of it. I do it because I like it. Mm. I guess I feel like this line is a callback to something. The only thing I can think is when Kishot told him to do what he pleases when he was gonna go get food for them. But I don't know. I wonder. I guess you could take it as just some. Hmm. If you do view it as a callback to that line, I guess there's some stuff you could get from it. But hmm. And we get an Aragi inner monologue. Which, yeah, I mean, it's just they're linked forever, right? Like, he will never. Just how awful it is for him. Like, how much he just. Man, rough. Rough. Oh, rough. Day you live. I went past it. Then today I too will live on. Yeah. She looks at him. Which, I feel like that's the most. We never really saw her even acknowledge him in Bake. You know? Like, from her position, too. I mean, I don't know. I feel like she's still, like, obviously she sits around, she doesn't say anything, she just mopes all day in Bake, but I feel like she's not just, like, brain dead or something, right? Because she was really, she was weakened a lot in the first movie as well, and she was still herself, right? So I feel like she's still in there, you know? And she looks at him. He says, um, does he say? I will not tell it to anyone. He looks at her. He looks at her, looking at him, at the same time looking at us, the audience, right? Looks right at the camera, which it's like we're looking at him through Shinobu's eyes, right? It's like obviously he's in like just the expressions he makes, everything. He's obviously in such mental anguish here. Um, he looks at her and smiles, which is very bittersweet because like it's almost like the vibe I get from it from her looking at him and him looking at her. It's like they gotta make, they gotta do best with what they have now, you know. That doesn't really happen. Shinobu really doesn't. Yeah. Anyway, he says he won't tell this story to anyone, which I guess I have this crazy idea about that. I've talked a few times about how like the narration in this one is very different because in all of the arcs in Bake, we had like narrator Araragi, which was separate from in the story Araragi, you know, because it's like there was an Araragi narrating the story afterwards, like telling it like as if he has an audience, you know. It's like he would, you know, yeah. um, but this one, I pointed out how weird it is that in this arc, I guess, in these movies, Aragi is so emotional. He's so emotionally vulnerable and open in a way that we never see him in Bake, right? Like, and at the same time, we barely get any internal monologue from him, um, which just makes me feel like it's different. It makes me feel like this story isn't one that's framed through him telling it to someone, right? Because he specifically says that at the end here. Um, I will not tell it to anyone, right? So, like, I don't know. I think that's kind of cool. I guess that's all I have to say about that. Is that's just kind of interesting. If that's what the intention here um, is like the implication here would be the reason we see Araragi so emotionally open and vulnerable throughout Kizu is because he isn't like hiding things, I guess, right? It's instead of it being a story that's been like told to us through narrator Araragi, in which case it's almost like he would want to hide stuff from us, right? Because he does that. He does that in Mayoi Snail, right? When he gives this idea that, you know, oh, he's at the park for no reason, all of that. It's like he's hiding things from us because it's like embarrassing almost, you know, that he's there because he had a fight with his sister, right? Um, in this case, it's like nothing was hidden from us, right? Because he's not telling this story to anyone, you know? And that's why we get less Aragi internal monologue, almost none, and why he's so emotionally open, because it's not being hidden from us like it normally would be as he's telling us the stories. But again, I do want to reiterate, though, it's not like he's telling us these stories as if he's aware that he's in an anime. It's like there's just some audience. It's like there's an audience, but not specifically that he knows he's in an anime. You know what I mean? But yeah, man, talk about just recontextualizing Araragi and all of his actions. Really, I mean, oh, I guess I have to wonder. It's clear that he already had this whole issue with his own self worth and viewing himself as so worthless through this, but it definitely all of this made it much worse now, right? Because of like everything. I don't know. Just oh man, man, oh man. Yeah, it's really good. It's really good. Very different from Bake. Well, hmm. Guess that might be it. I don't know. I feel like I have this feeling that I missed some stuff. There's stuff I could have read stuff into that I missed out on. Um, but I don't know. Maybe not. Yeah, it's just awful. It's like Oshina says, not a very moving tale. Because it's like you almost imagine in Bake that there is some kind of I don't know, the story behind how their situation ended up like this wouldn't be this awful, you know. But no, it's not a very moving tale, is it? Okay, well, I guess that's it. Only gonna be a 2 hour, 45-minute long video or something. Um, well, if someone listened to all of this and watched this whole thing, you're crazy. So thank you. Leave a comment, tell me what you guys think. And I guess that's it. See you guys in the next one.